Hello everyone and welcome to a new video of Firepower Threat Defense series. In this video, we are going to talk about remaining options under the platform settings policy on the FMC. So let's jump onto the FMC and look at those options. In order to look at the platform settings policy, we have to go to devices and platform settings. There we created our platform settings policy. And this is our platform settings policy. Let me edit it in order to see the options inside it. Now, let's talk about this external authentication option. Okay. Suppose you have your FTD on this. Till now, I have been using local user ID and password to log into its CLI. Suppose I want to perform that authentication by using an external authentication server like Radius. Okay. In that case, I'll utilize this option and I'll enable the specific server. Okay, and you cannot add these servers here. Okay, what you need to do is you will add these servers here by going into system under the users. That's fine. I'll just delete the page. And you need to add these servers here under the external authentication on the FMC. And then you have to use them under the platform settings. You have to enable them really. Okay. They will all appear in there, but you need to, just move this radio button to the enable side in order to use it and then save it. Okay. That's how you enable the external authentication on the for the FTD CLI. Now, other thing was fragment settings. What is this fragment settings? So, IP packet can be broken into multiple fragments. Okay. So the first option which says size block, okay, it is set to 200 and its maximum value could go up to 30,000. So what does it say is at a particular time, if you have, suppose you have 30,000 connections on your FTD, and that's not a good example. Let's go with whatever all connections you have on your FTD. Out of all of those connections, there can only be 200 fragments waiting for reassembly at a particular time. Suppose if you have 10,000 connections, you cannot have 201 segments waiting for reassembly. There will always be 200. Okay, because that's the limit you have set in here. Now, chain packets. It shows if your FTD has to do the fragmentation, then how many fragments can be created out of one IP packet? And that's set to 24 here. Okay. What's this timeout? Timeout says if within these many seconds I didn't receive all the fragments for a particular packet, the reassembly won't be successful. Okay, I should get within this much time. Otherwise, I don't consider it safe. Okay. Now, next thing was I wanted to talk about is Syslog. Syslog is the widest setting out of these all. So let's talk about it. Logging setup. Okay. So those who have worked over Cisco ASAs, they are aware about the command, logging enable. Okay, so when you enable the logging, it does the same job. Okay, and then do you want to enable logging on the failover standby unit? If your boxes are in HA, then you can log the messages on the standby unit as well. For that, you need to check this box. And do you want to send the syslogs in the emblem format? That is, Cisco's format based on certain RFCs, but it's just a particular syntax of the message. Okay. And then you can check this box if you want to use the emblem format. Now, send debug messages as syslog. If you want to send the debug messages also as well as the syslogs, just check the box. Then memory size of internal buffer. Okay, you can set the size of the internal buffer for the syslog messages. Right now, it's sent to 4096 bytes. That is basically these many bytes would be, I think, 4 KBs. Now it can go maximum go up to this number which is mentioned here in the grid. Along with that, you can set up VPN logging settings. Okay, you can log into the management center, uh, which is the default setting. You can set the logging level for it, and then you can also set up FTD server, for the logs. And then you can also set a flash size if you want to store them on the flash. Now, these settings are, rarely used. You won't be using it. You will be done with here itself. And then logging destinations. What destinations I would like to log to? Okay. what are the destinations. So if you click here, you can say, logging destination. Are you logging to internal buffer? Are you logging over console or to a syslog server, or sending some SNMP traps, or via the emails or via the SSH sessions? So you can, like, here you set up the logging filters. Okay, you can have logging filter based on event class. Okay, so let me show you first where you set this filter. So usually you create an event list. Okay, you create an event list by giving it a name, and then you can put any severity or event class, and then the specific message IDs that will be part of this event list, and then that event list can go in here. Okay, in these settings, basically event class used based on event list, you can set the event list if you have created any, or you can just disable the logging in the internal buffer by selecting this way, or for a specific event class if you want. Okay, so that's how you can utilize the logging filters. Now, email setup. Suppose you want to send some syslog as part of some, email messages. So you can put the source email address that will be used to send the message, and then the destination email address to which it will be sent, and what severity of syslog should be sent. Okay, there are 8 severities, 0 to 7. Event list, we already talked about. It works kind of a filter which you can apply to logging destinations in order to filter the logging. Now, rate limit. You can rate limit the syslogs by using the logging level or via the syslog level. Okay, you can say, if I click on the logging level, you see what logging level. I want to log emergencies. I can say 10 messages within 1 minute. Okay, like 60 seconds. And similarly, you can do here in the syslog section as well. Just click add, just select a syslog ID. There are many. You can select a specific syslog ID, and you say only 5 messages of this should be stored, should be sent within the 60 seconds. Okay, that's how you can rate limit the syslog. And then again, the rest of this is what facility you want to use for the syslog. Do you want to enable timestamp? You want to attach the time part as well to the syslog messages. What should be the timestamp format? Do you want to enable the syslog device ID? You guys remember when, if you have configured it on ASA, there is a way logging. When you want to log the host name in the each of the syslog message, then you utilize here the options like this. Check this box. Interface, suppose I want to send a particular interface's IP address in the every syslog message, I can choose the interface from here. Or either I can set a user defined ID. I can type some value that will be attached to every syslog, or I can say hostname of the device can go. Okay, I can enable all syslog messages, or I can enable individual syslog messages, my choice. And to enable or disable them, this is a list. I can check this box here, which is a edit pencil shaped icon, and just enable it. And I can even set its default, I can even change its logging level. Suppose it was emergency, but I want to log it as notification, or if it was warning, I want to log it as critical. I can set it that way and can just hit OK to save this option. Okay. Now, syslog servers. In this section, you can design the syslog servers. Okay, suppose I have a syslog server, I want to add it. I need to give its IP address here. Let's say here it's a UDP base, not a TCP based syslog server. Select UDP. Do you want to log message in Cisco format? Can check the box. What security zones it is reachable from? It's here, and just hit OK. That's how you add a syslog server. And here is the size of message queue. So a queue can hold 512 messages for the syslog servers. Okay, you can set it to 0 for the unlimited queue size, but particularly there will be still be a limit because memory is limited in the box. Now you see this checkbox. This is very important. Allow user traffic to pass when TCP syslog server is down. Suppose you configured a TCP based syslog server. Suppose you configured 3 TCP based syslog servers, and all of them are not reachable from the box, and this box is also unchecked. You know what will happen? The FTD will start dropping all the connections. And the same behavior happens over Cisco ASA as well. So that's why this is recommended. So that even if all of my TCP syslog servers are not reachable, I shouldn't be dropping the connections. Uh, in this section of platform settings, basically the syslog one, you'll mostly be playing within logging setup and the syslog server section. Also, some of the syslog settings, depending on you want to send the host name, etc. And event list, I think if you are overloading the syslog server, someone might ask you to, strip down the logs to whatever really you need, or maybe only to the emergency, or maybe a particular type. They might say, okay, you are sending too much. We don't have that much of capacity available. It happens at times. The buffers get full, not the buffer, basically storage gets full too early, and you might not be able to. Suppose your organization says we need to store syslog messages for past 1 month, but you are sending too much that the storage is getting full within 10 days. So you have to get either more storage, or if you are using a cloud provider, you have to pay them more to get the more storage, you know but the thing is here, you should only log the messages that are really helpful to you. Because if you will log everything, like even the debug level message, there will be a lot of syslogs, and it will be very hard to find a particular syslog out of all of that, syslogs. It will be like finding a needle in the haystack. So it's always good to log the syslog that you only need. But yeah, you can always change the settings to have the detailed syslogs sent to the syslog server. Suppose I want to troubleshoot something and I need debug level syslog, so I can enable this setting for a day. For a day, I can send the debug level syslogs in order to look at the problem and then revert the setting back. So these things can always be tuned as per the need, but you shouldn't be, sending too much of logs to the servers, because servers may get overwhelmed as well. In the end, everything has a limit, even if there is a cloud or there is anything, everything has a limit. Everything breaks at a particular point. Nothing is unbreakable. Okay, so that's it for this video. We have particularly finished our platform policy section. I can also the demo of each and every option whichever we talked about here, because most of them require like this syslog one. I need to generate the logs, and I might, if I want to show that the logs for a specific event class or message ID is filtered, then I need to generate that message ID, and that's not feasible for this lab session. So that's really for the for prod infrastructure where you would like to troubleshoot a particular message ID. In that case, you can just create a event list and then logging destinations. You can utilize the logging filter just to log that particular message ID itself. So that's it for this video, and that finishes our platform policy. Later on, let me see what I would like to look at next that is useful for us, and probably we are gonna do some lab stuff in the next session. I'll pick that one. So thank you for the time and have a good day.